Dumb Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the NBA. So y'all check this out. Now I haven't talked about Russell Westbrook for about over a year, right? Russell Westbrook, and I told you guys he's going to Houston, and Houston is very hard to watch for me. Now Houston will always have a place in my heart because my favorite player of all time is Hakeem Olajuwon, right? But with James Harden there, it's hard for me to watch. I don't like watching James Harden the last few years, understanding that he's maximizing what the rules give to him, right? And with putting that on top of that with skill and handling your business, figuring out, oh, I can do this and that to make sure I'm effective in today's game. You can't, say anything negative about that, really. But do you like watching that, right? Not really. I don't like really the step back three so much because you really can't defend it. If you jump towards him, they have to land. So the NBA it's the NBA's fault for making the game. We are protecting shooters, period. Okay? The defenders are running around looking like electric football or something back in the day. They can't just run around just putting their hands in your face. They can't really do anything. Their hands are tied. Anybody shooting a three, you know how many threes going to be blocked this year? About 10 in all of basketball. You really can't block them. You can just go put your hand there, which means it's not that exciting for people who've been watching over decades. But it is what it is. And James Harden has mastered that art and also the art to going through the lane, and he's going to swing his hands up. Now everybody swings their hands up. They go onto their left and then just jump into you with their right. And the offensive player is initiating contact in the NBA too much. If you stop the offensive player from initiating the contact, then we'll have a better NBA. You have people swinging through. What you swinging your arms through? You don't get no fouls. As a matter of fact, if you don't touch somebody's hand on a three-point shot, if it was up to me, you're not getting it. You can get the ball out of bounds. We're not going to be giving people 3 shots for nothing that's happening out there, right? For the offensive player initiating contact, somebody jumping vertically, and the offensive player is jumping into him. You don't get any 3 shots. That's why we 140. What games? 140. People scoring 70, 80 points in the first half, and we like, oh, that's awesome. It's because there's no non-contested 3-point shots the whole time, right? And you can't defend them. Is that really what we want? I wouldn't mind watching a game that's 75-80. The winner has 83 and the loser got 79 because the defense is allowed to be played. I didn't intend to rant, so let me back up. That's the reason I don't really like watching Houston. Now, a player that I don't miss his games, Russell Westbrook, for the last 5 years, 4 for sure. When Durant was there, I'd miss one every now and then. You know what I mean? But after Durant left, it was okay. Then I'm rolling with this guy because Durant left and went to a team with 73 wins, right? So that I'm rolling with Russ. And then he had the nerve to average triple-double, right? It didn't matter with his team, right? First, he was not going to be a guard. He couldn't pass. Then I'll lead the league in assist. He shoot too much or whatever, because we know he led the league in points, over 30. Then he led the league in assists too, and he's rebounding the ball. So at the end of the day, you had a guy averaging a triple-double with whatever team he had. He had Roberson on the team, right? Roberson is more offensively challenged than anybody that's watching this video. I'm talking about you go to the free throw line, you could send your toddler to the free throw line. It'd be about closest Roberson. Roberson to make 1 3 from 10. He's basically just a defensive wizard in the league that they have allowed right now. It's a few defenders that still can defend, even though they're not allowed to, but they're still doing a damn good job. The Robinsons of the world, the Drew Holidays of the world, the Marcus Smarts of the world, and I'm just throwing out there randomly. We know Kawhi can handle his defense. Matter of fact, and Paul George too. There's defenders out there, right? That are still doing a good job, even though it's not allowed, right? These guys are doing a good job, but Roberson is not going to give you any offense, but he averaged 10 assists with that team. Next year they put Ferguson in, and pretty much Ferguson shoot a tick better than Roberson, right? Bottom line is Russell Westbrook has been handling his business. We haven't seen anybody average a triple-double since black and white TVs. I've been saying the whole time, and he's done that 3 times in a row, right? So we go to Houston, and I wasn't going to really want to play, watch it at all. You know what I mean? It's like, man, but I'm not going to ignore Russell Westbrook, and I wasn't going to go for Houston because now after going for small ball, right? And when we're talking about small ball, I was actually going to make a video about it. Well, that's it for me watching Houston. I'm not going for them because I don't like, probably change. Oh, grumpy dude. You know what I mean? It's like we got centers, man. I'm still, upset that we don't have centers in the All-Star game. How are we gonna just take them off the ballot because of power forwards? No, you got three power forwards that can go, or two, right over or four. But we gotta have two centers, right? And not all centers that we need to be out there shooting threes. So that's that old school just coming out of my pores and my loins. You know what I mean? What we're doing with centers. So I don't want a team that's not gonna have centers in there to win. And that's why, you know what I mean? So I'm not going for that. So I was totally up against that, man. Kenneth Capella is never going to be no shooter. But I'm blocking shots. I'm getting up, making James Harden. Every time somebody get close, I'm gonna finish here around the basket. And I got a low post game, and somebody would let me give me the damn ball and stop shooting threes all the damn time, right? But it is what it is. I'm on your boys team, man, and this is what he do. He's been doing it since Phoenix, So it is what it is. But I didn't like that they went low, small ball. But it is what it is. They're on a surge and they're winning games, and ain't nobody in the starting lineup over 6'7". And it brings me back to Russell Westbrook. This guy is extremely underestimated, right, and under appreciated. I mean, after you're saying, you know, three times averaging a triple double, that should be it. We people now that have got 12 or 13 this season. You know what I'm saying? This guy had 42 in a season. You know what I'm saying? Triple doubles or more. I think it was 42 triple doubles. Has that single season. We got people right now with 12, 13, you know, and they're awesome, right? And Russell Westbrook averaged that three times, right? And right now, in the last month since going small ball, he's scoring about 80% of his points in the paint, right? In the paint, guys, right? Shooting about 53% right now, averaging about 34 points in the last stretch, right? Making it work with James Harden because Harden's not missing a beat. He just went from averaging about 38, 39, down to about 35, which is good, because now they're figuring out how they're going to play, right? And they're playing together and they're figuring it out, and it takes time. Now Russell Westbrook's not going to average a triple double this year, but averaging about 28, 7 and 7, or 28, 8 and 8 is ridiculous still. You know what I mean? On a new team, totally new environment. So what I'm trying to say is the same thing as Ja Morant, that rookie guard from Memphis who got Memphis in the playoffs right now. The guy is underappreciated, and I think that right now, pay attention to what Russell Westbrook is doing. He's even slipping his name into, like, if you were going down by number 7 in the MVP race, that's when his name should be showing up there. We know Giannis should get it, even though LeBron should be close. Giannis should get it. Then you got the other names, the James Hardens of the world himself, right? Luka Doncic is still, but those teams are not winning as much as those top two teams. Then shoot, if Toronto keep messing around, you got to put Siakam in there at some point. Why is Toronto winning? Right, it's a good team, but then you put the best one on that good team, right? So you see, Siakam would be in there, but at some point, Westbrook's name probably starts popping up at about 6, 7, or 8 in that MVP race. The matter as quiet as it's kept. So he's in that, even though he's on a team where it's a totally different thing, and it's James Harden's team, and Harden is scoring the most points, and I think even Harden is averaging more assists too, maybe one more a game. So you're probably not going to get that, but it's just interesting to see him doing this again and flying under the radar. But it's time to pay attention to somebody, because we keep saying that just because he didn't get out the first round with Paul George, that's both of their fault. Paul George was there, didn't win a championship with Kevin Durant. Championship. Kevin Durant was there, right? We seem to want to uh, blame the guy who's given maximum effort, and always talking about what he can't do. He's not a great shooter. It's because I probably jumped too high on my jump shot. You know what I mean? So what? That's what makes what's so awesome right now, because he's not scoring it from shooting, right? It's not like everybody has to. I'm shooting 3-pointers and I'm faking 3-pointers and getting 3 shots because I from the 3-point line because somebody fouled me there. No, it's because I'm athletically getting by this guy and I'm finishing over bigs, which is way more exciting than who can't shoot a three that's not contested because nobody can. Who can't? Anybody who's been around basketball for a couple of years can do that. This is more impressive if you ask me. And like most of them ranting. NBA should start straight up. And I'm gonna say it every time I'm talking NBA. Bottom line is athletic plays should be rewarded more. If we're gonna give 3 points for somebody shooting a 3-pointer with just somebody with a hand close, not even really in his face, we're gonna do that. I think somebody going to the hole, dunking on somebody, right? Dunking on somebody, that should be a 3-point play. And if we have to, then go to the camera to make sure, go and look at it again to make sure he dunked on somebody. That should be 3 points. That's an athletic play. That should happen. And speaking of those, the Dominic Tice, them guys is blocking dunks a lot. My God, Jared Allen over there and by the Nets blocking dunks a lot. Getting dunks out of there. I think they deserve an extra foul because what do you have to go up to block a dunk? Right? You don't have any incentive because if you really block it, the chance of them calling a foul on a clean block is very high, right? That's first. The other chance is you can be on the poster. That's second. There's no incentive for trying to even block a dunk. You understand? There's not just for being on maybe a highlight because the blocks are not the ones. First of all, you're gonna have the top 10, then you're gonna have the best dunks of the week and the assists of the week, all of that. Blocks, should be more important. If you go up to block a dunk, you should have if you start with 6 fouls, you should have 7 then. Like if you block that dunk while you had 3 fouls, then you go up and block a dunk and you have an extra foul. Then you have people trying to dunk on people and people going up blocking dunks where the athletic plays are rewarded. Because really, 3 points for that, that's what's wrong with the NBA. And then we foul them and they go and shoot free throws. You shouldn't give no free throws from the 3-point line. Pretty much none. Unless somebody really fouled his hand. Right? Other than that, you shouldn't get 3 shots. Get the ball out. We ain't just handing people 3 points. It's just ridiculous. That's why the games are, man, somebody going to score about 170 points to 150 in a regular time game here soon. Right? That's what's about to happen. It's just points are just easily scored, man. Let the guys play defense. I know that's old school. I know it, but I just have to say it sometimes because I watch a lot, guys. I'm a league passer. And if you watch games and sometimes watch them on condensed, you will only see nothing but 3-pointers. Nothing. Right? If you don't watch a game live you might see other stuff. Mess around, watch one condensed. My highlights ain't number threes the whole time. Uncondensed. No, it's a 3-point. Really? Is that all we got? Think about it. And while you're thinking, check out Russell Westbrook because he's doing something phenomenal. Again, Don't Sports Talk worldwide. And I'm about to get y'all.